we can do things like, I don't know, go live. All right, I imagine we're live at some point, probably soon, maybe. Let's see. Hi, everybody. In a couple of minutes, I suppose we're about 2 minutes away from 6 o'clock. I wanted to check and make sure, if there was anybody in the stream that they could say hello in the chat or something. Hi, Cammy Moop. Oh, man, I'm so excited. This is going to be really great. It's good to be back. It's good to be doing this. Hi, ya boy Keefe. Yo, indeed. Glad to have you all here. So you should be able to see my face on one side and then some slides on the other side. Yeah, and there should be like a 10 or 15 second delay between what I see you type and then what you see me respond to. So I'm glad it works. How do I sound? Last time around I didn't sound so good, and then I fixed it. Hopefully this time it's better. ICT Game Jam time. This should be fun. This should be really fun. Let's see, what else do we have? Sound is great. Thank you. Cool. So, sweet. All right. Well, shoot, if maybe, everybody's clocks are a minute off, or maybe mine's a minute off, and it's 6 o'clock. It's close enough now, certainly. So, welcome to the ICT Game Jam. Spring to winter 2021. We are again virtual, and this time around we are signing up with, or teaming up with, the Global Game Jam. This is something that we've been talking about for a couple of years now, and we are excited to actually give it a shot. So that brings us to our first slide. What is different about the Global Game Jam as opposed to previous ICT Game Jams that we've done? So, first off, the point of the jam is to make video games. That's still the same, but we're doing it for camaraderie and for sharing knowledge and just for the love of the game, really. And what that means is there's no prize money like we usually do. We, I think, have about a 50-50 split as far as people who are like, yeah, I come to the jam just because I want to win that money. And that's not happening this time. I hope that it happens in the summer ICT Game Jam, but this time it is not happening. I think that's about right. Okay. So what else is different? The goal of the Global Game Jam is to help everybody make better video games, and in that effort, anything that is uploaded to the Global Game Jam site, which is where we're going to upload our games this time around, is open source, Creative Commons 0. You still own whatever you made, but everyone else is allowed to download it and use it for non-commercial purposes. So if you've got more questions about that, we can talk about that later. You can check out what's going on there. So if we look at this Global Game Jam online page, there's a frequently asked questions, which we can look out here. And they talk about things like probably some legal and privacy policies. So, content policy. The Global Game Jam is about experimentation, sharing, collaboration, and learning from each other. All jammers are expected to share their games by uploading their games, assets, source code, etc. What else is different? Let's see. It's entirely possible that you've already seen the theme reveal and may have already started working. That's not really in the theme of good sportsmanship, but what are we going to do? Nothing. We're still going to go out there and make the best games that we can. The ICT Game Jam usually starts around 6 or 7 on Friday and goes until noon on Sunday, and we're going to keep with that format, which really cuts us down to 42 hours instead of the standard 48, which, 42 is the answer to life, the universe, and everything. Can't get better than that. But if you felt like, hey, I need those couple of extra hours, who am I to stop you? Go for it. We're going to spend the last part of Sunday playing other people's games and just kind of having fun and wrapping things up for ourselves, but I'll talk about that more in a little bit. There's this other thing that's called diversifiers, and it's something that maybe we implemented one time during one of the winter jams, but there's a lot more here, and I'm really excited about them. So let's have a look at the diversifiers. Hopefully this is easy to search for and find. So yeah, why do we have diversifiers? How many device diversifiers can I choose? Okay, so diversifiers are extra restrictions. Some people will say, and I particularly agree, that creativity comes out of constraints. And so if you don't feel constrained enough by the theme or by the 48 hours that you have to work, 42 hours that you have to work, then you can add diversifiers. And so the diversifier system is aimed at providing motivation for experienced game jammers by making it easier to search for different types of games among the thousands that are created. It's a free-for-all voluntary list of secondary constraints that the individual teams can choose to go for or not as they please. So if you want more visibility amongst the whole worldwide group of games, you can pick a diversifier that matches what you want to work on, and then people can search just for that diversifier and see, your game in a smaller set of games. There are a whole bunch of diversifiers. These are last year's. Where are this year's? Jam dashboard? Yes, okay, good. And this year's diversifiers, here they are. Let me see if I can throw those in the ICT Game Jam Slack, shall we? So you can have a look at those at the same time too. So there's interesting options like the sponsored ones. Use Core Games platform to create your game. Make a game that includes a journey or process. Sponsored by Unity. Virtual wallet. Accessibility. Kitchen sink. Players have a choice between at least 3 different types of input devices. Keyboard, controller, mouse, eye tracking, potatoes, etc. You can pick up to 4 of these and add them to your Game Jam page to say, hey, come check out my specific game. There's special stuff added to it. And I really enjoy a lot of these diversifiers. There's one that I really liked. Where was it? Yeah, the photogrammetry. I'm absolutely going to go outside and grab some skyboxes custom from my neighborhood, and that'll be really fun to add. Okay, so diversifiers are different and they're excellent. And we'll have more information about how to upload your game to the Game Jam website. It's fairly straightforward. It does require the normal things like knowing who your teammates are and having a picture and something to upload. And we'll talk about that tomorrow because it'll be a good idea to get started on that early. Okay, so let's talk about the weekend schedule, shall we? So Friday, 6 p.m., kickoff presentation, theme reveal, and start. And, it's optional 11 p.m. reasonable bedtime. You got to take care of yourself a little bit. No one's here to kick you out and make you go home. So if you want to work through 42 hours, I can't stop you. But, in general, take care of yourself. We all care about you. Saturday around noon, I will be going around Slack and sending out emails and trying to figure out what everyone's building. And sleep, indeed. you know, it's a thing. So, Saturday around noon, I'd love to know what you're working on. I'd love to have you send out progress screenshots to the ICT Game Jam channel of Slack. Saturday all day, if you're running into issues, you can absolutely reach out and say, hey, I don't know how to do this, or can somebody link me to a tutorial to do this and this, such a thing. That's kind of an ongoing all day. You can start that right now if you want. 6 p.m. suggested. Set up your global game jam project, just so that you don't run into issues with it. Now, of course, on the other hand, if we're finishing at noon and the global game jam doesn't really end till 5 p.m., you really can just think about all that at the end if that's what you want to do. That's also an option that's not a bad one. And then there is that 11 p.m. reasonable bedtime. I did forget to mention making a build of your game is generally a good idea. That way you run into things like compile issues, or you make sure that you actually physically have something that you can turn in, because sometimes you don't start build until noon on Sunday. I've done that. And it can be really stressful. And then Sunday, noon presentation. That'll be me talking into your faces, saying congratulations, pencils down, or whatever. Take some time to eat lunch, and then work on recording some gameplay. Sometimes if you have a controller game, or if you have a game that has to be downloaded on Windows, if you can at least show off some video of what the gameplay looks like, you can get more people to put in the effort to download your game and play it. So stop work at noon, upload project to Global Game Jam, build promotional materials, and then browse other games made here in Wichita and worldwide. Play some games, hang out, we'll talk in the Slack, we'll take it easy. One of the things that I'll be doing is completing a Game Jam postmortem, talking about what I thought went right, what I thought went wrong. Did I meet the goals that I wanted to do? And that can be a good time to do that while it's fresh in your mind. And then at 4 p.m. we'll have a final wrap-up presentation. We'll all hang out. Maybe we'll find a way to all talk together instead of just me. That would be fun. But we'll wrap up. We'll celebrate our good efforts or completion of our game, and then we'll all, that'll be the end of the event, and it'll be great. Okay, so fine print time. Let's talk about the code of conduct. Even though we're not at an in-person place, as far as your internet code of conduct goes, as far as interacting with other people in our sphere of hanging out in Slack and the Global Game Jam website, we're still required to be good to each other. Kelly says, something to keep in mind, Global Game Jam social stuff is lively. Taking screenshots early, posting them online, and tag the channels. Yeah, definitely. It's hard to have that energy of a Global Game Jam, or of any Game Jam, when you're by yourself in your room. Maybe some of you have quarantined for 2 weeks before this, and now you're all hanging out in somebody's house together for the whole weekend. That would be really fun, wouldn't it? But if not, just light up Slack and Twitter and everywhere else that you can find. There is a Global Game Jam Discord channel if you'd like to hop in there and join that large community. There's a lot of cool people doing the same thing that we are here this weekend. If you want to know more about the devict.com/conduct fine print, you can go to that link there. Maybe I can just link to it right now. Maybe I can throw all this in the ICT Game Jam Slack later. So we can do things like /org. The Global Game Jam Code of Conduct also exists. It's also at globalgamejam.org/code of conduct. Please be kind to everyone. Please make sure that whatever you create and publish to the Global Game Jam website is kind to everyone. If you feel like you're not being treated well, please let me know. If you feel like I'm not treating you well, please let the Global Game Jam know, or somebody else in the DevICT Slack. We want to take care of you and make sure that you feel welcome and a part of our community. I want to make sure that you're treated well. So, yeah, please, that matters a lot to us. We want you to have a good time. So, who to bring issues to? ICT Game Jam at devict.org. My email address, brianisbrilliant@gmail.com, or this globalgamejam.org/code conduct. Okay, and with that said, we're going to watch the Global Game Jam keynote. It's 13 minutes long, and then at the end of that will be the theme reveal, and then we'll get started. Okay, so let's full screen that. Let's make my face smaller, and
makes it easy to get started with creating games using built-in construction kits that come preloaded with game logic, UI, and no-fuss multiplayer for the most popular genres. You can remix and mod an existing game for your friends or create a masterpiece from scratch. No coding is required. With the help of our online tutorials, you can make your first game in 10 minutes. When you're ready, your game will be instantly hosted on the core platform where it can be discovered and played by gamers around the world. Core also offers creators options to help them find an audience and even make money from their games. To get started creating games, go to coregames.com, register, download and install Core, and start your journey into game development with our free Core Academy courses.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kate Edwards, and I'm the Executive Director of the Global Game Jam organization. And I would like to welcome you to the 2021 edition of Global Game Jam online this year. You know, back in early 2020, when the pandemic was breaking out, we really wondered if we were even going to be able to have this event this year. And we debated it internally and we discussed it with the community. And honestly, it's you in the community that really drove us to find a solution and to pivot to the online format. And this is where we are today. We are actually holding this event, and the level of engagement and the level of support that we have seen from the community is just overwhelming. So thank you so much for being here, and thank you for being part of this event. I know it means a lot to a lot of you as much as it means to us in the organization. We're just so happy that we're able to run this event again this year with all the precautions that we've had to do and with all the shifting with the online format. Our hope is that you're going to enjoy this event just as much as you have any other year, despite the change in format. And let's hope that next year, 2022, we will actually be back on site with each other, seeing each other face to face, working shoulder to shoulder. But for now, I wish you a great jam, and for all the same jam rules that apply in terms of taking care of yourself and pacing yourself and getting enough rest. Don't forget, even though it's virtual, those things are still very important. So welcome again, and thank you so much for being here.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you there. Well, hello, friends. My name is Guy Blomberg, also known as Yug, and I'm here to tell you a story from the garbage fire of a year that was 2020. Now, I used to run big events like PAX and EGX and Comic-Con, and you remember those things, right? Physical events. Well, when it became clear that they were very quickly going to be not a thing for quite some time, I realized the industry was going to need a way to quickly and easily connect in another meaningful way. So I created the Games Industry Gathering that replicates the vibe of being at a bar during a big gaming event where you can catch up with old friends and meet up with new colleagues, except in a much safer environment. Now, when I originally created this, it became clear I would need others to help me make it. So I reached out to friends from the US, the UK, and Germany to help run it. I talked to a friend in Australia who built the Discord for it. I partnered with organizers of other events in Germany, South Africa, Sweden, Indonesia, China. I talked to people from diversity organizations like POC in Play and Latinx in Gaming, Women in Games International, Queerly Represent Me, and a whole bunch of others about making sure that the space was inclusive, welcoming, and diverse. My point is, to truly create something great, you need to surround yourself with other talented people. And that might seem really difficult when it's hard to even meet up with other people in person at the moment. It's a very similar ethos to the Global Game Jam, though. Bring people with shared interests and passions together to collaborate and learn. And by doing it virtually, you may be surprised how a different perspective can create unique opportunities. So the Games Industry Gathering now has a membership of almost 3,000 gaming professionals from all around the world. And last year raised over $30,000 for the IGDA Foundation and their support of underrepresented developers. Now, this virtual get-together only happened because of the people who virtually got together to create it. So I wanted to wish you all the very best in creating. Hold on. I think people are coming back from their breakout. Oh, they're on mute. I'm sorry.
So I just got the latest issue of video games.
Go in.
I don't know what it is. The Atari is a big name in the
Hello, everybody.
Okay, you're all on mute. Sorry. Look, I just want to take this moment to before it even gets more chaotic, to send you all back to your breakout rooms. But thank you all for joining, and for everyone at the gig and the GGJ organizers, we want to say to all those taking part in the Global Game Jam with friends, colleagues, and complete strangers, good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck. Have a good time.
Believe in you.
And that's how it goes. The theme is Lost and Found. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I'm glad to be a part of the Global Game Jam. I hope to see all of you in Slack. And yeah, I'll talk to you later.